Then you get to your last one.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that one.
Well, talking about mishaps, I've had falls, I've had like a wrist injury, or I have ACL tear, or small stuff like that, which I thought was an injury, okay, and that's okay. Like, you get an injury and it's fine. I was like, okay, no problem, scars of victory, whatever. And then Kanchenjunga happened to me, and Kanchenjunga, everything was going pretty fine. Like, I was so happy. That mountain actually spent more time than Everest. I was there for 60 days.
60 days total.
2
Okay.
months of my life.
And the plan, how long was it supposed to take? 60 days?
No, less than that, honestly.
Okay.
But we actually planned, so me and my group, we planned to spend more time in the base camp.
Yeah, okay.
So it really helps with your body. So if you haven't touched or done anything as serious as that, it's really important to just stay there.
Get
for 10
acclimated.
days, 50 days, just let your body be. I mean, there's no point me having an oxygen tank and forcing myself up, right? Because it's just against my body. My body naturally wants to breathe. So we actually learned a lot of breathing during that time. So when you are at the base camp, you are trained how to breathe. You are trained how to utilize most of the oxygen, speak less, which was so difficult for a person like me. Yeah, you speak less.
I would probably, I'd be like, what, you want me to talk less? No way.
Yeah, I know, like, why not to talk? Because every time I'd be like, hey, we are here. They're like, no, just avoid these things, okay? Just don't say, hey, hello, we are here, whatever. So yeah, small thing, how to take small steps and cover more distance. So, even if you, like, I'm a short person, so my steps are anyway short. But this is mostly for any average person, that how you can take smaller steps and cover more distance than trying to speed up yourself. So all of these things happen at the base camp. But
so that mountain is 8,500 meters above elevation. Base camp's about what?
Base camp is about, so there are two. Like, there's one at 5,200 or so.
Yep.
And then you can choose to go up to 5,500 as well. But we usually stayed at 5,200. Mostly, or just wander around the area. And also, when you're in base camp, you're actually trained to go to the other side and come back. So you do that exercise every day, so that you know what your body is wanting. Because the thing is, you're here, and sometimes if the temperature is minus 38 or so centigrades, you just go up like 5 steps, you're almost dying. You come back 5 steps, you're okay. It's magic. Like, what your body is telling you is magic. Like, it just tells you to stop. But that's what you practice. So we actually spent 25 days on base camp training ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Right there, which was much longer, because all of us were so naive and so amateurs or whatever.
Yeah.
But we just
wanted to make sure it was
safe.
a good. Yeah, you want to make sure you were safe and right before you made the trek.
Yeah. But we were not a brave bunch. Like, we were not the bunch who would say, okay, no, let's just get everything goes to hell and we'll just go. We were like, no, let's just be here, and we had time. So we started on the 26th day, went up and up and up, and there was a lot of time that it took to go up again, because actually I was the only, so we were a batch of 12 people, and there were only 2 females, so I was one of them. And you know how it's very difficult with females doing all of these things for 2 months, because there's menstruation in the middle, then there's so much going on, and and having hard time to even pee. It's just so difficult to have your cycles up there, and then manage your moods, your hormones, and still having that kind of courage. And everybody advises not to take your pain meds. No pain meds, no medicines, unless it's really needed to have pain meds. But anyway, that gave me a lot of benefit later, which I'll tell you. So we started on 26th day, went up and up. I was actually, it's a story how we took 10 days to go up again after the base camp. But I was literally 300 meters away from the summit. So 300 meters technically is nothing. It's like from here to the crossroads. Right there. And I was like, no, this is actually happening. And the time that you take to sink everything, because your brain,
you want to take it in.
Yeah, you're getting less oxygen. I don't know if it's medically true, but I have always felt if you're getting less oxygen in your body, your thinking is a little disoriented.
It is.
I don't know, like, you're just hallucinated is not the right word, but you're really disoriented. Like, you can't.
There's a lack of there's a lack of oxygen within your entire body, which then starts bringing the disillusions. And not necessarily hallucinogens, but the disillusions within the brain.
Like, you're thinking, you're not in the best mental space basically, but you still have to keep going.
And this is where you hear people blacking out physically. Yeah, they're physically alert, but they don't remember anything.
They don't remember anything. Like, I probably don't don't remember, like I can't explain here what I was going through, but I know in my head what I was going through. Like it's just like you can see the flags there, and there's the summit, and you have to walk up till there, and somebody's telling you, somebody's just shouting from behind, it's 280 meters, okay guys, keep going, 270, and I was right at 260. And I don't know, some delusion, like it's the most stupid thing that I could do. Something happened in my head and I took off my gloves. And I just like, I started sweating so badly in my hands. Like my gloves, like so you wear 3 linings of gloves. There's this inner lining, then there's 2 more wind cheaters. And my inner one, I could feel that it's completely drenched in sweat because I was just so overwhelmed and nervous, and which happens to me all the time. Like I have anxiety like that. Like if I see something happening, my hands start to sweat, and I just took that off, and I did not realize it was minus 37, and it was 6 seconds or 7 seconds in, I got my first bites.
Okay.
Like right there.
I mean, and what was do you remember what the temperature was outside?
It was minus 34.
Okay.
It was minus 34, and because my eyes were a little open, like this is the only part of my skin that was actually exposed. So I didn't realize because everything else was closed. I was like, okay, no, I'm standing, right? And it's right, so
it looks fine outside.
So it's just okay, just take it off. And because till date people ask me were you trying to take a photo or a selfie? I was like, no. Are you kidding me? Like I don't even have a single picture from that mountain because I was just so like I was working so hard up there. I don't have pictures or a selfie, for heaven's sake. No.
Yeah.
Not at all. So I just took them off, and within 6 seconds, and I took them off, and I fell, and then I broke a bone here, and all of this happened in, I swear to God, like what I can think, this happened in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I don't have a memory, like a clear memory of what exactly happened. The only memory I had was I knew that my hands were hurting so bad, and I didn't even realize that this had happened because I was so covered in clothes, and it was really foamy up here. So I thought this is just the the temperature pain. Like sometimes you just your body starts feeling very different. I was like, no, maybe it's just the negative temperature or whatever. But this thing was actually just going completely blue.
So you remember taking off your gloves?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
I was sweating so hard, and I just took all 3 of them. Usually they advise you to take one by one. Maybe even if you want to just take one by one, see how your body's feeling. I took everything just together, and it was basically just a lack of oxygen, which was a mistake from my part because I practiced myself to not carry a cylinder again because I feel that personally I couldn't have carried more than 10 to 12 kg and hiked up. It's really difficult, and those 10 to 12 kgs had to be the essentials, which is my food, my first aid kit, my extra gloves, my poles, water, stuff. And you have to carry 6 to 7 liters of water at all times.
Yeah.
At all times. So I just couldn't afford to carry. Like, there are people who do it for 25 kgs as well, and hats off, like it's incredible. But I, as a person, like I'm anyway so short, and I was so petite that time. I was like, this is just not happening. I can't go beyond this. I was like, okay, let's just try and exercise to avoid the oxygen cylinder. That was the mistake that I made. I fully accepted that because if I don't know, probably if I would have had more oxygen in my body, it would have been okay because I would be thinking in a
There's so many what if scenarios that you could always bring yourself through. It's like, if I didn't do that, would that have happened?
If I would have done it up till there, then I wouldn't have bothered, right? Like I would have been like, okay, no, you can do it without the oxygen cylinder as well. I would have been one of those smart people. But it's not like that. Like it didn't work for my body.
Yeah.
Which is why I tell everybody that it didn't work for my body. It might work for somebody else's body, but it was just so different. And I literally like that was the scariest sight. And the only thing
do you remember looking at your fingers and seeing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember looking at my fingers and I'm seeing. And the first thought that came to my mind from whatever studies I did that naturally, I mean, they amputate your fingers or they do that. They do that. I was like, oh shit, and I could think about my parents. I was like, oh my goodness, if I tell my parents, if I go back home and this happened, the first thing I told my guide was, please don't call my parents.
Yeah.
And my parents don't know to date that my fingers have silicone.
Okay.
They know about everything else.
Okay, so we won't share this with them.
But they don't know that my fingers have silicone. So because that was, I was 20. I was 24 that time, 25 that time. So
okay.
I was like, my parents, my father is going to turn my world upside down if I tell him this happened because it is big. Like any parent would definitely freak out. And but thankfully, my guides were super supportive and trained, so they exactly knew what to do.
Okay.
And I was totally taken away from the crowd that time. Just airlifted from there.
Yep.
And then happened in New Delhi.
Okay.
So I was going down there. Took 15 days
Yep.
to heal myself completely.
Yep.
Get my
Fingers and
yeah.
broken bone.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Were you put into a cast?
But this one, yeah, I did.
Okay.
But this one gave me a less of a hard time. I had a little tear here as well. So this stayed purple for good 6 months. Like my, I don't know what to call it, but you can see those little nerves out from the skin.
Okay.
So they absolutely don't blue in color. So they stayed like that for a good long time.
Okay.
But I
Was that exposure to the cold?
To the cold.
Okay.
Yeah, exposure to the cold. So these did not give me a very hard time. It was easy. I was on pain meds, but fingers gave me a really hard time because now technically they were not mine.
Yeah.
Right? I had so much artificial going on. So my grip, even my grip today is a bit weird. Like it's very different. Like there are some exercises that I do. If I do it with my this hand, my brain automatically moves my this hand as well. So there's some sensory or some nervous connection which is not proper or whatever. Because I'm still training myself how to use my fingers nicely. I've always been so scared of not putting them down like that because they just turn outwards.
Yeah.
And so any exercise.
So what about like even heat? Like heat or cold? Is there sensory inside? So like if you touch something hot, can you feel it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel that because all of this is fine. Like this is real. The skin and all is real. These things are not. Like it's just very jelly-like. So I could always land up putting my hands like this and just not know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not do that again.
It's creepy. It's creepy. So
it was a longer process in terms of rehab for your fingers than it was
7 months.
Okay.
7 months.
Right.
And
they airlifted you. It's just to go back. They airlifted you once that happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because then there's no chance that you do anything else.
And you're 270 meters away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 270. Like I was crying because of course there was a lot of pain, but I was crying. I was like, please just
carry me there.
Just take me there. Somebody just take me there. I'll just like do whatever that is. No, that would be cheating. How did I tell people? So people ask me to did you do Kanchenjunga? I was like, no, I attempted. I was almost there, but I just attempted. So it's just it's so more for me mentally. It was more difficult to get over that fact that I prepared for 25 days at the base camp.
Yeah.
I spent 60 days of my life working so hard, which I've never done before, and I couldn't go there. So
you're like, I'm not giving up.
Like I have completely quit. I'm not doing this ever again, and I put my parents' feelings also into the circle. And
you told yourself at this point you were never going to do a climbing.
No, I was like,
okay.
no, I won't do it because I just want to work now. I'll go back to my work and I'll just focus on my work, my other things, and this is never going to happen because it just gave me so much mental pressure, and I wasn't happy. Like people around me were super happy. They were like, no, you know how mostly friends are.
Yeah.
But there's this time when you don't want to know that. Like I don't know. Like it's again very tough to explain. But there's this time when you don't want people to tell you that you're nice, you're amazing. Or it's okay. We didn't even go there. I was like, but that's not the point. The point is that there's so much that I put in, and there was and something happened which I don't even know of. Like I don't know how to not do that next time. So tomorrow, if I even decide to do that again, how do I not get to that state again and hurt myself or hurt other people around me?